Kings Dominion is an amusement park located in Dowsville, Virginia. The park officially opened on May 3, 1975, and offered 15 attractions for guests to enjoy. Admission into the park was $7.50, and parking was $1. On opening day, the park allowed 50,000 guests in, with reports of 50 to 60,000 more waiting to be let in. 2 years later, in 1977, the park added its fourth roller coaster named King Cobra. This coaster was the first launch coaster the park added, as it featured a 50-ton counterweight drop launch. The park would see different additions throughout the years, such as a campground and a new area called the Lost World.
Oh, yeah!
Wait till you see what's new at King's Dominion this year. There are 6 brand new shows, 3 incredible new adventures, and hundreds of new thrills. Plus, the mystery of the Lost World. It's a whole new world at King's Dominion.
In 1982, the park would see the addition of its third wooden roller coaster, which was located in the newly expanded area Old Virginia. The new coaster was called Grizzly, and it was hailed by the park as heaven for the real thrill seeker.
Grizzly, boy, that's what we're here for, a grizzly that stands 85 feet high. I can remember, boy, listening to the screams of people as they carried him off through the woods. The bad bear, boy, and every word I'm speaking is true. I wouldn't take you for a ride, Pilgrim. Grizzly!
The Grizzly, the newest ride at King's Dominion. It's a bear.
In late 1983, Taft Broadcasting Company would sell their entire theme park division for $167.5 million to King's Entertainment Company. Under its new management, the park would see some new expansions. In 1984, the Lost World area was rethemed to the Smurfs, and the ride Land of the Doos was renamed to Smurf Mountain. In 1986, the first roller coaster under Ketco management was added. The new ride was a Togo stand-up roller coaster called Shockwave. In 1987, a water slide area called Racing Rivers was added. In 1988, Avalanche, which is the only remaining Mack bobsled roller coaster in the US, debuted at the park. King's Dominion would continue to expand over the years. In 1990, the park added a Hanna-Barbera area, which featured a variety of children activities and rides. The next year, in 1991, a new roller coaster designed by Aerodynamics debuted at the park. The new coaster was called Anaconda, and it featured the world's first underwater tunnel, as the ride traveled under Lake Charles. In 1993, King's Dominion became Paramount's King's Dominion. Almost every season during the Paramount era featured new shows and activities that opened at the park and were themed to Paramount's various television shows and movies. In 1994, the park saw another major expansion. The new area was to be themed after Paramount's 1992 movie Wayne's World. The new area featured a new wooden roller coaster, which would be called Hurler. In 1996, King's Dominion opened its second launch roller coaster, which was called the Outer Limits Flights of Fear. The new coaster utilized a different launch technology that was new to the park. It reached 56 miles per hour on launch and had 4 inversions.
Remember years ago when you were afraid, frightened, terrified of the dark? Welcome back. Prepare yourself for the Outer Limits Flight of Fear, the scariest, darkest, most twisted roller coaster ever. Face your fears, only at Paramount's Kings Island.
In 1999, S&S Worldwide, a company known for designing launch coasters, built a prototype coaster at their testing facility. The new prototype was called the Thrust Air 2000 and had a one-of-a-kind launch system known as a compressed air launch. The prototype had an oval-shaped layout and contained a 170-foot top hat. The ride was originally meant to be built at California's Great Adventure, but those plans were later abandoned. But S&S did not have to worry for long about where the new roller coaster prototype would be built, as it had reached an agreement to bring the ride to another theme park. On August 1st, 2000, Paramount's King's Dominion announced that a new thrilling launch roller coaster would open at the park for the 2001 season. The new ride was to be called Hypersonic XLC, XLC being an acronym for Extreme Launch Coaster, naturally. To save on cost, King's Dominion purchased the S&S prototype itself for $15 million. Construction on the new ride started in October of 2000. Hypersonic XLC officially opened on March 24, 2001, which was the first day of the 2001 season. Guests eagerly waited in line to experience the one-of-a-kind thrilling attraction. The new coaster did not disappoint. Thrill seekers and coaster enthusiasts alike agreed that the new ride delivered on the extreme part of Extreme Launch Coaster. This new launch coaster seemed to be a success, and King's Dominion looked forward for this ride becoming a staple of the park and a reason people from all over would come to visit. But King's Dominion would soon realize that maybe, just maybe, purchasing a prototype roller coaster to save on cash wasn't the best investment. Hypersonic XLC suffered from constant downtime. The ride was closed completely for the first 3 months of the 2002 season. The tires on the trains would be crushed under the high G-forces, and cracks were found throughout the ride's track. During its downtime in the 2002 season, many adjustments were made to improve the ride's reliability. Ultimately, King's Dominion could not keep up with the constant problems the ride was having, and in 2006, just 5 years after the ride debuted, King's Dominion would put Hypersonic XLC up for sale. The ride would operate for the final time in 2007. In January of 2008, the ride was removed from the park's website. On the park's opening day, March 22, 2008, Hypersonic XLC had already been completely disassembled. The only evidence still standing that the ride ever existed is the ride's platform, which still remains at King's Dominion to this day. Although the ride has been gone for some time now, many still remember experiencing this one-of-a-kind attraction. From being able to launch from 0 to 80 miles per hour in 1.8 seconds to dropping 135 feet at a 90-degree angle, Hypersonic XLC truly was a unique and exciting ride, and thrill seekers and coaster enthusiasts alike are sure to miss it for the foreseeable future.